Has anyone else lived with debilitating pain for 30 years thinking it was normal? I'm 42 and just found out that the muscle lumps I've had my entire life are actually tumors. Let me explain how spectacularly I screwed this up. I'd been going to physical therapy for 6 weeks after knee surgery. My quad muscles had basically disappeared and I was compensating so badly that my hips and feet were screaming. During one session, I decided to show off my detective skills to my physiotherapist, Sarah. I pointed to these hard, hot lumps on the outside of both my legs and said, "I think these little muscles are causing my shin splints when I run." Sarah stared at my legs like I'd just grown a second head. She said, "What little muscle lumps do you mean?" I proudly pointed to what I thought were just my weird leg muscles and said, "These ones. They get all lumpy and hot when I exercise." Sarah's face went completely white. She said, "These are absolutely not normal. How long has this been happening?" That's when I realized I might have made a tiny miscalculation. I said, "Oh, about 30 years. My whole adult life. When they flare up, I get shin splints so bad I can't walk for hours." Sarah started examining both my legs more carefully. She pointed to my actual shin and said, "You have debilitating pain through here?" I looked at her like she was the confused one. I said, "No, not there. The shin splints happen here." I pointed to the entire front of my leg. "It feels like my leg is on fire and someone's running a knife up and down my shin bone. Plus, I get pins and needles in my feet, but I just stretch it out." The color drained completely from Sarah's face. She said, "That's not shin splints. That's nerve pain." She immediately started doing tests I'd never seen before. Pressing on different spots, checking my reflexes, asking me to describe the pain in detail. Then she said the words that made my stomach drop. "I'm sending you for an ultrasound today." I said, "Is that really necessary?" She said, "You've been walking around with what appears to be growths on your legs for 30 years. Yes, it's necessary." The ultrasound tech's face told me everything I needed to know before she even opened her mouth. She kept going over the same spots, taking measurement after measurement. When she was done, she said, "The radiologist will review these, but you need to see a specialist immediately." 2 days later, I got the call. The lumps I'd been calling little muscles for 3 decades are non-malignant tumors. The shin splints I'd been powering through are actually serious nerve damage. Both legs. 30 years of nerve damage because I thought tumor-induced agony was just part of running. The specialist explained that these tumors had been pressing on my nerves for decades, causing the pain I'd normalized as just shin splints. The pins and needles in my feet? Nerve damage. The inability to walk after exercise? Nerve damage. The fire-like pain shooting through my legs? Not shin splints. Nerve damage. I asked him how I was supposed to know the difference. He said, "Most people would have seen a doctor after the first episode of pain this severe." I said, "I thought everyone's legs felt like they were on fire when they exercised hard." He stared at me for a long moment and said, "No, that's not normal." Now I'm waiting to find out if I need surgery to remove these tumors I've been casually living with for 30 years. The same tumors I proudly pointed out to my physiotherapist like I discovered something clever. Have you ever ignored symptoms for so long you convinced yourself they were normal? Has anyone else lived with something for decades that turned out to be completely wrong? Let me know in the comments below.